So hi everybody, Craig Hanson here. Welcome to my video. We're going to be looking here at what the right leg does in the swing, a little bit of how the knees work symmetrically, which I'll explain, and looking at getting your pivot, everything to collect nicely at the top, and it has a great effect on your sequence, your balance, your contact, and especially when you're moving into the longer clubs. And we're going to be talking about this right foot now and how we use it. We're going to be looking at leaving a footprint in the ground. When we get this pressure down into this right foot and we keep ourselves centered and still, we're still loading the weight up onto the right side without the head moving off the ball. Okay, guys, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, hit the button, hit the bell, leave your comments and your questions below. And if you like the video, hit like because it helps me a lot. Thanks very much. Yeah, so when we're looking at this loading effect, we hear a lot that people like to load up on the right side, but they're moving themselves off the ball too much. When you push into this right foot, this is great for advanced players who are blocking the ball and sequencing too early as well. If you're pushing in to this right leg, you're assuring that you can actually lift that up a little bit. So even though you're centered, you've still got good load, okay? And that will pick up your pivot numbers, improve your pivot numbers, so that when you're pivoting to the top and you're doing it effectively, this right hip will be higher by 10 degrees or so. That's about the 2 average. And the first initial move is downwards. If we're pivoting when the head moves off, often the hips get too level and they're bouncing back in funny positions. We're getting stuck, we're getting caught, and really then put some pressure on the shaft, and we can hit some block shots and come out of shots. So getting this right leg, pushing down and using this right leg effectively is definitely one of the most important areas of the swing. When we're looking at biomechanics over the last few years, when we're looking at some of the best biomechanic teachers in the world, they're seeing very much repeating themes of these top players and how they're moving up to the top. And it's not perhaps spoken enough about. We're always looking at plane, we're always looking at inside and outside, but getting this part right really gets the components, you're matching up together, and it's just a wonderful way to get your swing looking good and moving good and getting it very effective. So when we're looking at the right leg, push down into that right foot. Okay, if you drop down just a touch, that's fine. As we know, a lot of great players will be moving slightly downwards. Now when we're looking at this right leg and moving the right leg symmetrically, what does that mean? We'll be just slightly straightening this leg, so the amount that this right leg moves back, the front leg moves out. Now this is one of Hogan's best moves. Keeping the right leg braced is very bad for your back, and probably one of the worst tips out there of all time. Made famous obviously by the greatest player, perhaps Tiger Woods and other players, but with the amount of back operations that he's had, you need tremendous strength and flexibility to pivot and turn correctly with the correct shoulder planes and getting everything in the right position when that is braced. It's very, very hard and very, very rough on the back. So by letting that right leg move back and press down, you're really going to load yourself up and get your swing in a position where other things will follow. And that's what we're after. We don't want to be, it's great when we do one thing and we get given 4 or 5 other great things in a golf swing. So when you're practicing it, get your reps, all right? So you're down into the knee, down into the foot I should say, pressing down, just let that right leg straighten, nice and slow so you can feel it. And it'll also give the swing a nice look. For players that are coming out of the shot and blocking shot, we'll see them often transferring the weight too quickly to that lead leg. We'll see that side pop out, and that's putting all sorts of stresses on the shaft and club head and getting things out of sync. So guys, footprint down, let the right leg straighten. It's a great feeling, gripping the ground and using the ground effectively.